This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? It's a long time coming, but we are back. There's only two of us right now, but they'll be coming on. We're all doing different schedules now, and things are a little crazy, of course. So there's going to be hiccups, but we're in our third season. I am the Philly sports guy. I've got Pork Rind with me as well.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Philly. It's been a while.
I know it has been. It's like, you know what? And the summer, I didn't really have much to talk about over the summer because we were great and you guys just changed ownership. So it really wasn't a big deal or nothing like that. And so, yeah, we just got ourselves better. And I know that you guys are just fighting to figure out what's happening over there.
I think we've gotten a little bit better ourselves.
So, you know what? Let's start talking about you first and foremost, because obviously out of the two teams, I mean, we had a couple of losses here and there, but you guys really had a lot more going on with your off season. So why don't you do a cliff notes of it of sorts?
We had stuff going on. It's exciting time for Washington. Was it a couple more? Was it July? I can't remember the exact date. I should know this date, but we got new owners. Dan is out. I went to the rally party that Friday after they changed ownership. It was supposed to be a training camp pep rally, but I think it was just to gather the fans up to celebrate a new era. And it was pretty nice to see the group that came out. And I must have talked to at least 10 or 11 different people that hadn't been to FedEx since probably the early 2000s. And just to hear the excitement in their voice, of course, I welcome back with open arms. And, hopefully we'll be filling the stands at FedEx Field with more burgundy and gold than the opposing fans. So, it's exciting times. I think, I don't want to jump the gun yet and say Sam Howell's our franchise quarterback, but I'm pretty confident in his abilities. I just need to make sure that offensive line blocks for him and keep them upright. But our defense, I think our defense is improved. I think we definitely have another lockdown cornerback in our first round pick with Emmanuel Forbes. So I'm excited to see what he does. I think we might have a top 5 defense again. Just like last year. So hopefully our offense can score some points and defense can, keep the boys from scoring points, and we'll have a little bit more wins than losses.
So we got a question. Excuse me, right away.
Yeah.
You're going to be changing the name again.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, Josh Harris doesn't really want anything to do with anything that had ties to Dan Snyder. So yeah, the name is definitely going to be talked
Revamped.
about. So yeah, what's this year 4? So we'll have 3 different names. Well, this will be the 4th different name in 5 years. Yeah.
That's the way it works sometimes.
And you know, so but yeah, I mean it's I know a lot of people wanted to go back to Redskins. There was a petition, I think, with over 150,000 signatures, and it's not going to be the Redskins. Let's just face that. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Not in today's.
I still have holding out hope for the Wild Boar. I gave you your name. I figured I could name the whole franchise over there.
You go.
Washington Wild Boar.
There you go.
You know what? And like I said, I just think that would be a great name because it would keep with the tradition of the Hogs, and actually the Hogs would make sense.
Yeah.
So, but
we'll see. But no, I mean, I'm excited. I think with Josh, the team that Josh put together, the ownership group, and by the way, if you think about it, it's called the Harris Ownership Group, so it's HOG. But bringing in Magic Johnson, the guy's a winner. He's won as a player and as an owner. And the one thing that really excited me was, he wants a Super Bowl ring. That's the only ring he's missing out of all the sports. So I think bringing him in, it's going to entice some players to come our way. And once we get him in the building, it's going to be kind of hard to say no to that guy. So, one thing that we haven't really been involved in is free agency a lot, getting those big name, splashes like in the years past. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward.
Well, I will say that I'd like to wish you luck this year, but I don't think it's going to matter.
I'm taking receipts.
Hey, listen, that's okay. That's okay. That's why we record this every week.
That's
so
right.
You get to see all that and hear what's going on. And then, well, True shows back up as well. Let's welcome True to the show. It's been a long time. The beard looks like it's a little longer. It's a little grayer, so.
Definitely more gray.
How are things going down in Dallas?
Oh, they're going, man. It's just one of those things. Watching the off season come to an end and the season about to kick off is going to be very excited. It starts tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Yep. Kansas City and Lions. So seeing everybody travel there, all our friends travel there for that game. So it's going to be one of those Thursday night showdowns, and there might be a surprise at the end of that game. Who knows?
Yeah, especially with Kelsey might not be playing.
Exactly right.
I didn't hear that. Why is he not playing?
He hyperextended his knee.
Yeah.
Oh. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
No torn. Nothing was torn. No damage. But they're saying it's game time decision, and with hyperextensions, as well as I do, those aren't easy to come back from.
No. And then Chris Jones, he's on the defensive side, he might not be playing either. So
he's not playing either way.
Yeah. He's holding out for that contract. So
they're talking 8 games with him. So there's going to be some turnover there.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun watching the season kick off, and of course we go to New York to face the Giants this Sunday, which is everybody's been talking about, and I see Linda's comment there.
Well, I think Linda is Mac in disguise, because of course, that's asking about has Dak figured out his interceptions yet?
We have to see about that. I mean. He's got, now that we've got Brandon Cooks on the side, it's going to be interesting. I think with McCarthy calling the plays, it's going to be a lot more. It's not going to put as much stress and overthought on the quarterback position. He's not going to be having to throw 45, 50 times a game, which he was with Kellen Moore as a coordinator. When McCarthy was taking over, it was the run the damn ball attitude, and everybody was like, what that's what Kellen Moore was now. I was like, no, 45 to 50 passes a game is not running the ball. It's not showing you. And I think he has the confidence in the arm. It's just, you can't overextend the throwing and try and make everything happen there, which Kellen Moore was always trying to do. So I think the run game is going to help tremendously. I think it's going to take a lot of stress off of Dak Prescott, and I think he's just going to sling the ball when he has to.
And if all fails, you have Trey Lance. So.
Oh, Trey Lance was a good pick. I mean, picking him up at no cost. Just 2 seasons ago, he was the first-round pick at number 3. Everything that happened over there in San Francisco, Trey Lance is not coming in here to start the game. Now, do I think he might play? Yeah, but, with the backup quarterback situation as it is, not the situation, but having the 53-man roster game day, that sets another precedence. And so do I think he's going to be suited up game 1? No. Might he get suited up, somewhere down the road? Yeah, more than definitely more than likely he will be suited up. But it'll be one of those situations where, you're going to use him in the run game and pass, not so much, but they might switch it out. It might be a Roger Staubach situation where they're going to be switching quarterbacks in and out like Tom Landry did. Who knows?
Well, I've been saying all along that I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to implode this year. So now I know you don't think that that's going to be the case, but I think with everything that's been going on lately and all of the stuff that you hear out of Dallas's camp, that they have a problem or could really have a problem with certain cancers really starting to appear. Does my saying that have any credence whatsoever?
No.
Okay.
No, it's everything that you're hearing out of the sports talk world. And that's actually, what I started laughing about today, thinking about today's show, was just hearing all the bloviating that's going on by all the sportscasters and announcers who don't know what's going on the inside of the actual team itself. They're not there at the team meetings. They're not seeing everything at the team practices. They're just hearing hearsay. There's no credence to what these sports announcers and what you're hearing on the radio waves and newscasts or there's nothing even remotely close. These guys are tight knit. I think it's going to be a lot tighter this year with these guys. I could already see it on the defensive side. The defensive side has actually come a little bit, or actually I would have to say a lot closer to each other as family-wise. And the offense is starting to get there. The offense is starting to groove. There's been a lot of changes on the offside, on the offensive side. But the thing is that's the great thing about what Coach McCarthy's doing. He's building what he wanted to build 2 years ago. And now that Kellen Moore's not there, I think it's going to be even closer as an offensive side of the ball.
Well, I think that's actually – I'm actually thinking that the defense is going to be what causes the offense to really implode. I think that that's where the bickering is going to become. It's going to be like a front of the house versus the back of the house type of situation. I think that your defense is pretty good. I think that your defense is going to be able to do somewhere in the 20 mark. That the offense is going to need to score more than 21 points. And I think if they do that and they have the talent to be able to do that, you guys will win a lot of games. That being said, I think that if you guys come out of the gate and the offense sputters in this preseason of real football, because I call these first 4 games still preseason, that's where you'll start to run into some of the problems. That's what I mean by this implosion.
Yeah, I don't see that with the defensive side of the ball. Not with now that Micah Parsons and Tank Lawrence have established. Those are the leaders there on the defensive side of the ball, and with the Diggs, Gallimore, everybody on that side of the ball. I think there's not going to be any bickering on the defensive side. I think they're going to go in there, they're going to strike, they're going to do what they're going to do. Coach Quinn has established that side, and he's just leading them by example. I don't see the implosion. I mean, it could happen. I don't know, but I just don't see it right now from what I'm seeing, everything that I'm hearing. Not from sports announcers, not from anybody else, but from everybody else.
Got ya. Okay. Well, we got some people shouting out here real fast. Hey, what's up, Brian? Good to see you. So, well, hey, listen, I wish you guys luck too. Not really, but yeah. And we as the reigning NFC champions, not only the NFC East, but the NFC champions, I feel like we got better. I feel like we got a lot better. I think that even though we lost a number of sacks over to the dark side of the 49ers, we got a lot at the draft. I mean, we picked up all of those sacks plus a few with Georgia Bulldogs. So it's going to be interesting to see how this season starts to play out a little bit. And to start off, like they said, the NFC East is going to be featured with a Giants and Cowboys game up in New York. And you missed an opening day. True.
It's been a while. And things are still in the works. I'm still contemplating. There's a lot of things going on. I'm just it's that pesky thing called a job.
Yeah, I understand. Hey, listen, I know that it would be hard for you to go up to New York and take that loss on the chin right away for week number 1. You know what I mean?
But
I know Linda
2 years ago when I showed up in Tampa on game 1 on Thursday Night Football, that wasn't fun any much more, but I did it, and that's the thing. You got to take your licks, you got to take your wounds and move on. So it wouldn't hurt, but the thing is Sunday night, and I had the biggest feeling in the world that before the announcement was made, I knew they were going to put a Sunday Night Football if it wasn't Thursday Night Football. So it was either that or Monday night, but I knew it was going to be Sunday night because NBC.
That's the way it works.
That's it.
Well, you know what? I think it's going to be. It'll be fun to see, to say the least. And watch what's going on and such. I mean, we start off with New England. It's Tom Brady Day in New England, and I mean,
every time it's a Tom Brady Day, I feel like they just don't. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned with New England this year.
No.
I think they're heading down the rabbit hole of prior to Tom Brady, where they're just stinking it up.
Are you sure? I mean, David Portnoy said that they are one of the 6 teams that could win the Super Bowl.
I'd like to know what he's smoking.
Lots of pizza. I think he's smoking a lot of that oregano on the
pizza. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't see New England coming off that strong, and the credit that Mr. Belichick has received this week is, or I should say non-credit that I'm hearing all the talking heads talking about as well. It's, now that Brady's been gone for 3+ years and nothing's been established, it's, Bill Belichick was never a great coach in their eyes. And I'm just still amazed that it wasn't just one player that took him over the fence. It was, several in the coaching staff. And I think New England's going to be, they are going to be what they are, who we think they are right now in week 1 against you guys. But I just, it could be something that we're not knowing about as far as players are concerned. But I don't think Mac Jones is, or not Mac Jones. Is that his name? Quarterback from New England?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones. Yeah, I just don't see him. I just don't see him progressing. I'm going to see an even bigger regression, going back, stepping 2 steps back. If he doesn't move it forward this Sunday, it's just he's going to I think something happened to him last year mentally. I don't think he was as focused. I don't think he got the support he needed from the coaching staff. So we'll see if he especially getting benched last year. So we'll see if he even starts the game if he hasn't been named week 1 starter.
I think he was named. I'm pretty sure he was named week 1 starter.
He might have been. He might not have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It doesn't matter who quarterbacks New England. They could bring Tom out of retirement to start this game, and he will still get his butt whipped.
Yeah.
They just don't have the team that's going to be able to compete against the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are going to. I think they're going to pick up where they left off. I think that they feel like they missed an opportunity last year, and that they're going to be fighting for that with everything they've got to get back there to finish the job. Now, again,
so even with Philly losing both coaches,
that's what I was about.
On the offensive side, defensive side, you're still encouraged by what you see from the new coaches stepping in.
So the defense is going to be interesting to see. That's really the big one. I hope that this guy absolutely knows how to, spell the word blitz. Because Gannon blew it last year. I mean, and he did cost us the Super Bowl. He didn't make any adjustments at halftime. He wasn't able to fix any of the problems, and ultimately, his head was already in Arizona. So
he was in Arizona. So
exactly
right. You know what I mean? So, but he was already counting the money that he was making as a head coach.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And that's why there was that backdoor deal. Why they lost picks. You know what I mean? There was a lot more. Let me tell you, the one thing I could say about Roger Goodell, you know what I mean, is that he knows how to bury the bodies. You didn't hear anything about that. And we were there at the draft.
Yeah.
There was nothing leading up to it. And then there was nothing really after it other than, hey, the Eagles wind up getting a 3rd round pick this year and a 4th round pick next year from the Cardinals.
Yep.
For shadiness that happened during the week of the Super Bowl. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal, and then especially to come out and lose like that.
Yeah.
So, it's like that's, ultimately when he comes back here, I know that Arizona is going to get spanked pretty badly. I would expect that game. I would expect that a 45-point, spread isn't enough on that. Yeah, they're going to run that score up.
Well, Arizona's going to do it to themselves anyways, I think, to go after that first pick next year.
And pick another quarterback that they won't study?
Oh, yeah. No, the kid from USC. That's who everybody's saying that they're going to go after, and that's why they're going to fail this year. And it's one of those situations where, it's okay if they lose. They want to lose. They're not going to do anything to try and win. Hence, that's why they're going to hold out on the quarterback, putting them in so quick. So I just still think the NFL needs to do something about the poaching of coaching staff during the season, especially during the Super Bowl, during playoffs.
Yeah.
I still don't think that teams should be able to ask for interviews from coaches who are still
playoffs,
within another organization who are in the playoffs at any point in the season, or let alone the Super Bowl. So I really think the NFL needs to step in and say, you know what, you can do any interviews you want after the playoffs if their season is down early, but you cannot question them until then.
Well, the season ends. The season ends the Tuesday after. The Tuesday after
Correct.
The Super Bowl is when the official season ends.
And that's when they should be able to start interviewing for coaches.
At that, and I agree with that. That's that up until that point, that you should not be able to have any formal interviews or anything of that such.
Yeah, it just plays a mind game with the coaching staff, and the coaches are, for example, last year, your head coach has to start thinking about, his coaching staff and where their heads are at. Even though you can question them, you're not going to get truthful answers. Well as I do, your head is already somewhere in another job, regardless if you win a Super Bowl. You think you're going to get back there with another organization. So, it's something needs to be done. And if they can't do that, it's I don't know. I just really think something needs to be done.
As Jeff is saying out loud, they've already been eliminated. So, but I think that they are going to, I think they're going to wind up having to do something about it, because this has been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
This isn't just the Eagles that have had this issue.
No, Eric Bieniemy is a good point in case as well. He was being asked, by several teams before Washington during his playoff runs with Kansas City.
Yeah, we waited. We waited.
Yeah, you have to put yourself in the head coach's position and say, I want my guys to succeed. If it was just any other business, sure, why not? Why not let your guy run up? But this is a football game where you got to be in mental, a state of mental, capacity where you're going to play. You got to play, and you don't want your coaching staff thinking about another job at that time. You want them all in.
Yep.
Agreed. And I think that's going to probably be something on the docket. I'm surprised that teams haven't voted on this. Like, ownership hasn't voted on this. And I guess it's because there's always more bad teams than good teams.
Yeah.
So that there are going to be coaches that are going to wind up getting poached. I mean, let's see,
well, if it happens, you heard it here first. If the NFL steps in and says, "Hey guys, no more going and getting inquiries about personnel who's playing right now, who are in the playoffs, who have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. There's no interviews during this time. You're gonna have to wait till like you said, the week after the Tuesday following the Super Bowl in order to question."
That's what it should be.
Now, if there's anything that happens during the season, week 6, week 7, and somebody, okay, fine. But playoffs, beyond, no.
So, I was hoping that Sneaky G forgot he had a date with his wife tonight. So that's why he's running a little bit late as of this point. I was hoping he'd be on here to be able to talk about the Giants a little bit. But we all know that at least I have them chosen to go second in the division this year. I said that out loud. I'm going to go ahead with my picks first for the division, and then hopefully Sneaky will show up here within the next few minutes. But something tells me he may not make it tonight. So I have Eagles in first. I have the Giants in second place. And then I have Dallas in third, with Washington pulling up the rear. I'm sorry but I think that, I think Ron is not the coach that's, who's going to be coaching this team next year. I think Eric Bieniemy is not going to be on this team next year. I think that they are going to wind up doing a cleaning of house, and to be able to do that, it's going to not.
I can see Eric Bieniemy being the head coach next year.
No.
Okay.
No.
I think it's a personal decision on his base. I don't think he wants to be the head coach.
All right.
And I tell you, I'll almost for a fact that won't happen, because they are not, as a new ownership team, they are not going to want to bring out anything that's going to come out from his past. And that's going to be too big of a deal, too big of a mess for them to fix right out the bat, especially after what the fan base has gone through.
Yeah.
With Dan Snyder, I think that this is not going to, I think that there's no chance at all for him to become the head coach? Could he remain on as offensive coordinator and they change out the head coach? That's more likely. But there's no chance he will be the head coach of any football franchise, specifically Washington. I think that's more because the ownership is even slightly in tune with what has happened with this fan base. You know, and I think that's the biggest deal.
And I just don't see Coach. I don't see Coach Bieniemy wanting, like I said, from everything that I'm seeing for the past several years, him not wanting to be a head coach currently at his age. You know, he wants to establish himself as an offensive coordinator, which he already has with the Chiefs. But I just don't see the interview process working out very well for him as a head coach. It's just one of those situations where it's the input from the players, it's the input from coaches around him towards the owners that I just don't see him getting the favor that, you know, everybody else thinks that he might get. And do I think he is head coach worthy? Very much so. It's just establishing himself as a leader of a football team, regardless of which team. He just needs to establish himself as that leader.
Yeah, and
I think he becomes the head coach.
And I'm pretty sure that's why he chose us, because, I mean, you know, I think he's taking on Hal and showing the league what he's going to do with Hal and how he's going to progress throughout the season. I think it's gonna up his stock for sure.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm just saying, as a team from a whole, you got to want not just your quarterback. You're going to want your running back, your wide receivers, your tight ends, your whole offense on board.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, even though you're the offensive coordinator, you're going to want to establish yourself with the defensive side of the ball as well. And I think that's where a little bit, the hesitance comes in. Even though you're coach of the offensive side, you still want to step in and show your defensive side guy what you're about.
Right.
So, well, as we're doing with that, and since you already think that your coach is going to change next year, what is your thoughts about where the NFC?
Hold on, I never said the head coach was going to change.
I took it as that. I understood it as that you said that Eric Bieniemy is going to be the coach of Washington next year. So obviously that you have some.
That's because everybody else is saying Ron's gone, which, I mean, Ron could very well be gone. I mean, typically when a new owner comes in, he's going to want to make sure, he handpicks his own head coach. But I think Ron Rivera's done a great job turning our roster over from, what he took on. I think he's created a culture, that is night and day from what he came into. As far as this season goes, I do have to agree with you. I think Eagles will still be the top dog. I would say probably Cowboys second. I'm sorry, Giants second, and I'll disagree. And I think the Commanders are going to be third, and Dallas will be at the bottom. But I think all four teams makes the playoffs this year.
We should have last year.
We messed that up last year. We're not messing that up this year.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, I get it where I think the NFC is weak in general. But I think it's still going to be. I don't know. I don't trust Seattle. And I don't believe that. I don't. Beyond Detroit, as I say hello to Michael Paul, who is a big Vikings fan out of Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And I'd love to say that both of those teams are going to make the playoffs, but they ain't. I think that Detroit actually wins the NFC North.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the best of the bad bunch is the 49ers.
Yeah.
And then the only team coming out of the South is the division winner. So, which I think, I don't know, man. I'm kind of liking the Saints with Derek Carr there. But we'll see.
I don't think that. I think that's. I think that's not going to happen. I think that Derek Carr is going to show exactly how bad of a quarterback he is. And actually, I said the other day, I'm sorry. I just got a text message from somebody out of Texas who wants to tattoo my face onto his leg. So I'm like, okay. He wants what color jersey do I want to wear? I'm like, I don't care. It's what's on your leg. You're gonna have to look at it, not me. You never. I tell you, you know you've made it when you're on someone else's leg.
I hope that never happens.
So, well, but you have enough tattoos on you have your face on your leg.
I do not have my face on my leg. I would never get my face on my body. Never.
Yeah, me neither. But
well, I'm gonna take a deviation away from what you guys are saying, and the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. That's just said and done.
Of course, I would not expect anything else from a Cowboys fan.
That's right. I think I'm going back, and I'm going to be leaning on Coach McCarthy this year a lot. Even though we do got a new offensive coordinator, and Schottenheimer, it's just not going to. Coach McCarthy is going to be pulling all the strings on the offensive play calling. The only reason we got that offensive coordinator in there is for basically a QB coach to keep up with the guys in the backfield. I think, from where the Eagles are standing, I think they're going to take a step back. I don't think the Giants are as good as everyone thinks they are with Coach. I think, they're going to come in, they're going to run. Jones is going to be Jones. Or Danny Dimes, whatever we want to call him. It's going to be one of those situations where he's going to get himself into, in game situations towards the end of the game where he's going to be losing by 3 points or less. I just don't see him progressing where he should be in year, 5, 6? Yeah, 18, 5, year 5. So I just don't see it. And with the Washington quarterback, I just don't see him. He did great last year. There was no tape on him. There's tape on him now. Defenses are going to be all over it. I just don't see him progressing as much. Now, with Coach Bieniemy, I could take, 1 or 2 games away and give it to Washington there, especially against the Giants. But I think Washington's going to come in fourth. It's just going to be interesting. And the other divisions towards, going what you said, Detroit and Minnesota, that's going to be fun to watch. The West, I don't think San Francisco's as good as they think they are. You got a holdout there with Bosa as well. See how long he holds out.
I thought Bosa signed today. I thought I saw where Bosa signed today.
Well, he might have. That was the last thing I saw on the NFL Network was about 1:00. So
yeah,
I'll see.
But the NFC South, Atlanta, Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield. You got Carr. Okay,
Bosa gets record 5-year, $170 million deal.
Yeah.
So what is that? $30 million a year?
At least 35 and a half, 36, 37
for the first year. Yeah.
Sneaky texted me his picks for the NFC East. Do you want me to read them?
Sure.
All right. He said first place will be the Commanders. I can't believe he actually put his own team in the bottom.
Yeah,
I can.
Yeah. He said Commanders first. I can believe that. That's right. That's right up Sneaky's alley too.
He did.
He said it quietly. He whispered to you.
Yeah.
I got
whispering.
I got the receipt right here.
There you go. So I think that it's I'd love to say that I want to see McCarthy be the coach of the Cowboys for a really long time, but I think this is his last year, and I'll be surprised if he makes it through the entire year. I think that the Cowboys have been, the Cowboys have some talent. and their defense is definitely much better than their offense. But I think that their offense really lacks. And I think that you have Dak Prescott, who is so burdened by the fact that he's got to carry this team that's what's going to cause the demise.
Yeah. Again, it's nowhere near the situation it was for the past since he's been there. Kellen Moore is no longer there. I'm telling you guys, that was the biggest crutch that the kid had. He was there with Linehan. He had to suffer through that. He was there with Garrett. And when they promoted Kellen Moore, he was still just a crutch. It was just one of those things where everybody was so dependent on Dak Prescott to get him those wins that it was never about the rest of the team. And now with Coach McCarthy in there, it is about the rest of the team. Again, I'm telling you from what I'm seeing, and not just from hearsay from these speaking guys out here in ESPN and everywhere else, these guys don't know what they're talking about. They're just bloviating from left and right. They're not seeing what I'm seeing from the team as a leader and coach. You'll see definitely a big change in this offense. And what you saw in the preseason is nothing going to be what's going to be going on during the regular season. Nothing. And you're going to be surprised. There's going to be. I'm telling you, when he came out and said, "Run the damn ball," how long did they talk about that? Oh, all he's going to do is run. No, he's just going to establish the run, and that's what we haven't done for the past 3 years.
Well,
we'll
see.
Didn't Kellen Moore go to the AFC West?
Yeah, he went to the Chargers.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And he's going to be great for that kid. But when you see the run, when you see that team playing, it's going to be the same situation. He's just going to totally depend, because Kellen Moore is a quarterback. That was his position. He wants quarterbacks throwing the ball. That's what he did at Boise State. All he did was throw the ball. Linehan, all he wanted to do was throw the ball. When he became offensive coordinator, he just wanted to throw the ball, and that's why I was done with it. And 2 years, Coach McCarthy had to suffer with that.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he bring him on?
No.
So Kellen Moore was here before McCarthy.
Yeah, he was inherited.
He was part of Jason Garrett's crew.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying. He was here when he broke his leg. Dak Prescott took his position, and Linehan put him there as the QB coach, and then he stepped in as the offensive coordinator when Linehan left, and Jason Garrett kept him. And then for the last 2 years, after McCarthy inherited him from that team, it's been the same MO. It hasn't changed since 2016, and now it's changed finally. So that's why I'm saying things are changing for the best.
That's what I'm saying too.
Well, I'm glad. You know what? That's it. It's good to have hopes and dreams in the beginning of a season. Hopes and dreams is what carries you through to week 17 or week 18, when you guys are realizing that you guys are both out of the playoffs and the Eagles are about to win, their second Super Bowl in 6 years. So, and go to our second Super Bowl in 2 years, which is going to be tough to do on its own. But I just don't trust the East at all. I just do not the East, the NFC at all. I just don't trust it at all. I think the NFC is horrible this year in comparison to the AFC. It seems like that the AFC has got so much more talent in terms of teams that can, in comparison to the NFC. I just don't see, are we really going to put Detroit in the possibility of being in the upper echelon of the conference?
No.
I have the Eagles. I don't trust the Giants yet until the Giants can beat us one time out of the season is a big deal for them. Dallas is kind of a different story. I think, like you said, I think that they need to come out of the gate strong, or it's going to be too loud to hear what's really happening down there from the media. And
No.
I think that the media would have a part to play with that.
Oh, of course, they always do. But the thing, like you said earlier, was these are basically the 4 weeks of preseason because none of the starters played, and I'm not worried about that again. I'm my main focus is this is 18 weeks. Let's get started. I'll start worrying about week 5, week 6, and even then, I'm not going to worry too much.
Well, I would if you're 1-4.
Yeah.
We're not going 1-4. We're not going to go 1-4.
Not knowing who you're up against, I know that you go up against the Giants and that you feel pretty strongly about the fact that you guys will beat the Giants
And the Jets.
Well, we haven't lost to the Jets yet, so I don't believe in them just yet at all. But I do think it's like I said, I do have the Giants as the number 2 team in the division. But I also have them taking a small step backwards. I think that, like I said, I think that this is going to be a surprise. An 11-win team is going to absolutely make the playoffs. So, because I think 10 wins is going to be the max for a lot of these teams. I think a 12-win team could actually win the first seed in the conference. Just my opinion. I don't see anybody running ahead so much that that you're going to need 13 or 14 wins to win the conference.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a long season. You're right in that statement of the NFC compared to the AFC. But again, that's why we're going to play these games.
Yep,
that is correct. That being said, real quickly, I this is important for everybody to know. Pork Rind, who's your third string quarterback?
Jake Fromm.
He's going to be the one that gets dressed and be the 54th player.
Yep.
Who's yours, True?
Third string?
Trey Lance.
Okay.
Will he get dressed up?
I have no idea who's going to be our third string.
Oh,
I guess it's McCann.
Saying earlier, I don't think he's going to be suited up.
So, you got to get suited up, right? Or is it one of those things where you get suited up if the moment that the one guy goes down? But doesn't that take a minute? You know what I mean? Are they stopping the game for that? So you'd have to be suited up. You have 3 quarterbacks suited. Because this rule was already there at one point, wasn't it? There wasn't there an emergency quarterback, but he was part of the roster. This one's not part of the roster now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's start off. As we get ready to start talking about some of these games, we're going to talk about the ones that starts it all off tomorrow at 8:20. You have the Detroit Lions. The new and improved Detroit Lions, with all the hype, going up against the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs without Travis Kelce.
Yeah, it's game time, but not looking good.
It is a 52.5 point over under and a minus 4.5 for the Chiefs.
I'll just come out. I'm going to take the Lions. I'm going to take the Lions just by the run. They're going to be running the ball. I think Jared Goff is going to be, he's going to do what he has to hold on to that ball. I'm going to take the under. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near 52 points.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, True.
But I think the defense is going to step up. I think, the Lions are going to do what they're going to have to do on this game one, especially to show everybody after all the work that they put in this offseason.
Yeah, I think the only win the Chiefs are going to get is raising that banner. I like the Lions too. I think Hutchinson's going to put a lot of pressure on Mahomes. A Kelsey-less Chiefs offense, I don't think is going to be. I don't think they're going to move the ball that much. So, and I like the Detroit Lions to be running the ball with Gibbs. I'm pretty excited to see what Gibbs does. Yeah, I take the under. I think it's going to be maybe a 24-20 game.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Not a chance. This is going to go over. I also am going to take Detroit, but I think I'm going to take him with like a last-second field goal to win it, and I think it's going to be like a 37-35 or like a 41-38 game, 41-39 game. It's going to be a really high-scoring game. I think that's the one thing that Detroit did improve their defense a little bit better, but I think that the offenses of both of these teams are going to be kicking it pretty quickly. I like to see Pacheco actually score a couple of touchdowns here from out of the backfield from Mahomes and such. And even though that Travis Kelce isn't going to be there, I think that may be part of the cause on why they lose, but not by a lot. Like that it's going to be a lot closer. Like I said, if I had to give 4.5 points, to the Chiefs, I probably wouldn't take it. I'd probably take the Chiefs, but because the Lions are getting the 4.5, I'm definitely going to take them on the money line. Actually, that's how I feel about it, and the over. All right, let's see who's going to be the first one that shows up. Oh, you guys get. What a starting off. This starts off for the new ownership in just the right way. The Arizona Cardinals come to town against the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are a surprising 7-point, favorite. And it's 38.5 is the over-under.
Oh, man. Well, they're calling for rain, so I'm still going to obviously go with the Commanders. I think it's going to be a 31-10 game. We haven't had a home opener sellout since 2019, and that was pretty sure against the Eagles, and pretty sure about 75-25 was
Eagles fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
We own that stadium.
Yeah, well, maybe not going forward, but no, I think it's going to be exciting to see the stands, filled with burgundy and gold, and we're going to give, our hometown team something to, get excited about, and I think the atmosphere is going to be crazy. It's going to be loud in there, and I think we're going to put it to them.
So you got it going over too with the 31-10.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot of red. You are right about that. There will be a lot of red in the stadium.
Because
because even if it's Arizona red or Washington red, the seats are red. Yeah. So it's like you'll see a lot of red in there because I still don't believe that you're gonna. I mean, I guess for week 1 you guys will sell it out, but like I have you guys smoking the Cardinals. I think that it could very well be. Like a 27-0, like 27-30 like a couple of touchdowns, a lot of field goals, a lot of points going up, a lot of like successful drives.
Right.
And I think the Cardinals are not going to score a touchdown or a point. So it may be like a 30-3, 33-3, or 33-0, 33-6, something like that.
I'm loving it.
True.
Yeah, I got Washington taking that one as well. I think Arizona's going to walk in there not knowing which way the end zone's going to be, and I think Washington's just going to have a huge game. I think Coach Bieniemy, like I said, I respect the guys. I mean, he's one of the best offensive coordinators, offensive minds that I've seen in a while, and I think he's going to help establish that kid in the backfield for the first game. So we'll see how comfortable it gets. Is it going to be a blowout? Oh, yeah, I believe so. I believe you're going to have, I believe Washington is going to win at least by 3 scores. So I don't want to put a low number. I don't want to put a high number, but I do believe. What's the over-under?
38.5.
38.5, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's going to be over. It's definitely going to be over. Even with the rain, I think even with the rain, they're going to establish a run.
Yeah, I think that the rain may keep it under, but it definitely it's the rain that makes me think that Arizona won't score points.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm thinking that there's going to be successful drives by Washington, but those successful drives may only be 3 points rather than 7. I don't trust enough of everybody on Washington to be able to finish drives with touchdowns. But is McLaurin playing?
He suited up today, so he said as of right now, it looks like he's a go. But depending on that weather, I don't know if I'd risk him week 1.
I don't think you're going to need to.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he could be a decoy out there.
Either.
Yeah. So
yeah, I agree. He could be a decoy out there. All right, 4:25 game. The Philadelphia Eagles travel up to the New England Patriots, and we are 4-point favorites with a 45.5 point over under. I got us winning by 14 points. So if I was a betting man, I would definitely tease the number up to 9 and get the juice on my side. But
I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Eagles are going to, I'd say maybe a 38-10 game.
What's gonna be the weather up there?
The suspected weather will be I don't know. It doesn't say.
I think 4:25 game, you guys should be all right. I think it's probably going to be mostly sunny until it gets dark soon. So I'm still going to have you guys winning, just based on the fact that I don't see the Patriots as strong as they were even just as of 2 years ago. I think there's a lot of chaos going over there on the offensive side of the ball, both with the quarterback and the coordinator, even though Bill Belichick is the one calling the plays. So I see you guys winning in the realm of somewhere around 27 to 17.
All right. Jeff, did you say you just agreed with me when I said that?
I said
we crushed him.
Yeah, you guys are going to crush him. I think I said 38. Yeah, I think I said 38-10 is what I said.
Got you. Okay. And then to finish out Sunday night, the Dallas Cowboys travel up to New York to play the football Giants. Dallas is a 3.5-point favorite, a road favorite with a 46.5 over under.
Yep, we're gonna march in there. Of course, there's supposed to be somewhere in the realm of 30% chance of rain, but I think we're gonna be running the ball. Like I said, we're gonna establish the run. I don't see. Well, I do see Dak having at least 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. So we're in the realm of probably around 38 points. It's usually a high-scoring game. Sunday Night Football, as what we've shown in the past, we'll usually take it by at least 4+. That's the reason for that marker. So yeah, I think we're going to win 38-31, somewhere in that realm. It's going to be an over for sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to let you go, Jeff.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Giants. I think it's going to be a 28-27 game. I think you guys are going to score a late touchdown, and your field goal kicker is going to mix an extra point.
That would be awesome. I actually believe that, I actually have the Giants winning this game. I think that this is going to be not as close as people think it will be. I think it's going to be like a 27-10. You're going to see how good McCarthy calls the plays or how good they execute the plays, and that could be the issue. And I think it's the start of a beautiful year for the Dallas Cowboys, at least for me.
For
So,
all of us.
but
But we
anyways,
love you too.
we made it through our first hour back, with one guy short, but definitely. So we were definitely a lot lighter today than we normally are. But I'm sure he'll be back next week. I hope they had a great date. In the meantime, like I said, it's football is back. So everybody enjoy the
Enjoy
NFL
tomorrow.
tomorrow. And hopefully your team wins, as long as it's not anybody other than the Eagles. So everybody, thanks for joining us, and have a great week. We'll see you next week. Take care.